Hello everyone. So now as we have completed the four main types of the chemical reactions, and they are the combination reaction, the decomposition reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. I hope you are clear with this. As we all know about the combination reaction, it is when a reaction in which a single product is formed from two or more reactant, it is known as combination reaction. I repeat, a reaction in which a single product is formed from two or more reactant, it is known as combination reaction. See, they have given us the example of a slaked lime produced from a quicklime, that is calcium oxide plus H2O gives CaOH twice plus heat, that is quicklime plus water will give you slaked lime plus heat. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. See, they have also given us the various examples of easy forms, that is carbon plus dioxygen will give you carbon dioxide, or say the formation of water, that is 2H2 plus O2 will give you 2H2O. 2H2 plus O2 will give you 2H2O. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. We also learned a subtype of a chemical reaction yesterday, and that was the exothermic forms of reaction. The reactions in which heat is released. The reactions in which heat is released or heat is produced, then that type of reaction is known as exothermic forms of reactions. I repeat, the reactions in which heat is released from the formation of the product was known as exothermic forms of reaction. They have also given us the example of burning of natural gas in which the heat is produced. See over here, that is CH4, that is methane plus dioxygen will give you carbon dioxide plus water, that is 2H2O. One more example of the exothermic reaction is of respiration, where the glucose when reacted with oxygen, that is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 will give you 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Here the energy is an example of exothermic forms of reactions. Fine students. The next thing is the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost. The decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is also an example of an exothermic forms of reactions. I hope you are clear with this students. Let us move on to the next topic, and that is decomposition reactions. As I told you earlier that the decomposition reaction is the inverse reaction of combination reaction, and so it is also known as anti-combination reaction. It is also known as anti-combination reactions. Fine. Let us see that. They have also given us the examples of FeSO4, that was the ferrous sulfate when reacted with ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. Ferrous sulfate with FeSO4 in the presence of heat will give you Fe2O3, that is ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. Okay students, see, you can see over here that a single reactant, okay, the single reactant is broken down into more simple products, and so it is known as decomposition reaction. Repeat, a single reactant breaks down to give a simple products. It is known as decomposition reaction. They have given us various forms of example where the crystallization and the recrystallization reactions occur, such as if water molecule is contained or present with the form of another metal element, it is known as crystallization, and if it loses water, it is known as recrystallization. That we will learn it later. So I hope you are clear with this students. What is decomposition reaction? The decomposition reaction is where a simple reactant will break down into more simple products. Okay, they have also given us the example of a limestone that was also known as calcium carbonate, CaCO3. In the presence of heat will give you calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay students. See, one more example they have given us is the thermal decomposition. What is thermal decomposition? It is written over here before the activity 1.20. When a decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, I repeat, Whenever a product is broken down by heating, it is known as thermal decomposition reaction. When a decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, it is called thermal decomposition reaction. CaCO3, that is limestone. Okay, in the presence of heat will give you quicklime, that is calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide, that is calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay. The emission of brown fumes produced by this activity was also known as nitrogen dioxide. Now I am not reading the whole activity just now as we are doing the revision, but you go through it. But remember one thing, the brown colored fumes produced is always the nitrogen dioxide gas. It is always the nitrogen dioxide gas. The reaction of the lead nitrate is also given over here. Please pay attention. 2PbNO3 twice, that is also known as lead nitrate. 2PbNO3 twice, also known as lead nitrate, in the presence of heat will give you lead oxide, that is 2PbO plus 4NO2 plus O2, that is 4NO2 is nitrogen dioxide and that produces heat, brown colored fumes. Okay, we also saw the electrolysis of water yesterday. Okay, as I told you, it can be also used for the electroplating of golds and silvers. Okay students, fine. Let us see the next thing. China dish and silver chloride. You will see that the white silver chloride turns into grey. As I told you earlier, 2AgCl, that is silver chloride, in the presence of sunlight will give you silver plus chlorine molecules. Silver plus chlorine molecules in the presence of sunlight. Remember one thing, silver chloride turns grey in color when it is kept in the front of sunlight. In the same way, it is also the similar equation given over here, that is 2AgBr, that is silver bromide in the presence of sunlight will give you 2Ag plus Br2. 2Ag plus Br2. In ancient times, this reaction was used in the black and white photography. It was used in black and white photography. So decomposition reaction requires energy either in the form of heat, light or electricity for breaking down the reactants. These reactions in which energy is absorbed is known as endothermic forms of energy. I repeat, the reactions in which heat was released, it is known as exothermic reaction, and the energy or the heat is absorbed, it is known as endothermic forms of energy. As I told you earlier, every decomposition reaction requires energy in the form of heat, light or electricity. With heat, light or electricity. Okay. The next thing was one more thing you need to remember was which is a substance that is used for whitewashing of walls and clothes, that is calcium oxide, CaO, calcium oxide. The next reaction was displacement reaction. Now what is displacement reaction? As I told you earlier, whenever a more powerful element or a more reactive element takes place of the less weaker element, it is known as displacement reaction. It is known as displacement reaction. We have also seen the example of a nail when kept in a copper sulfate. Okay, then the nail color also gets rusted and it changes to the copper sulfate solution, whereas the copper sulfate solution will lose its color. Now the copper sulfate solution will lose its color, that is from dark blue it will be colorless, from the dark blue it will be colorless. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. See, the chemical reaction of the iron nail when kept in a copper sulfate solution is also given over here. Fe plus CuSO4 will give you FeSO4 plus Cu. Here you can see that the copper was least reactive and so the iron takes its place. The same reaction, so it is written also over here, whenever one element will remove another element or displace another element and takes its own place, it is known as displacement reaction. It is known as displacement reaction. Fine. It is given over here that the Zn plus CuSO4, that is zinc plus copper sulfate, Zn plus CuSO4 will give you ZnSO4 plus Cu, ZnSO4 plus Cu. And Pb plus CuCl2, that is copper chloride, will give you PbCl2 plus Cu. Here you can see that the iron, zinc, lead, etc. are more reactive elements than copper. They displace copper from its compounds. Okay. Next is double displacement reaction. Now students, you should know that the double displacement reaction is quite similar to that of displacement reaction. The only change found over here is what? That is, in double displacement reaction, two molecules, or say the two atoms, gets interchanged between its original place, or it will lose their identity, and this type of reaction is known as double displacement reaction. Wait, it is known as double displacement reaction. You will observe a white substance which is insoluble in substance water. I repeat, the substance which is insoluble in water, it is known as precipitate. I repeat, a substance which is insoluble in water, it is known as precipitate. This insoluble substance formed is known as precipitate, and the reaction is known as precipitation reaction. It is known as precipitation reaction. Okay students, I hope you are clear with this. See, they have also given the reaction of the sodium sulfate when reacted with barium chloride. The chemical formula of the sodium sulfate is Na2SO4. Sodium sulfate, that is Na2SO4. Sodium sulfate whenever reacted with barium chloride, that is BaCl2, will give you barium sulfate plus sodium chloride. Barium sulfate plus sodium chloride. So what was the reaction of the sodium sulfate? That is Na2SO4 plus BaCl2. Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 will give you BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. I repeat, Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 will give you BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. Okay, so that is sodium sulfate plus barium chloride will give you barium sulfate plus sodium chloride. Okay. See, they have also written the definition over here. A reaction, second last line of the similar paragraph before the topic of recall activity 1.2. Reactions in which there is an exchange of ions between the reactants are called double displacement reactions. Reactions in which there is an exchange of ions between the reactants are called double displacement reactions. Fine students, I hope now you are clear with this. Let us move on to the very first topic, that is oxidation and reduction. From the name itself, it suggests that oxidation means adding of oxygen. I repeat, here the word oxidation means the adding of oxygen. Fine students, adding of oxygen. Let us have a look at this. Fine. And what is reduction? The removal of oxygen is known as reduction. The removal of oxygen is known as reduction, and the addition of oxygen is known as oxidation. It is known as oxidation. Okay. See, they have written over the surface of a copper powder becomes coated with a black copper oxide. What does it happen? So as you heard about the word rusting and corrosions, if you have not, we will learn it in deeply just now. But whenever any metals get reacted with a moisture, water, or any type of oxygen present atmosphere, it changes its identity. It changes its identity. So the reaction will be something like 2Cu plus O2. 2Cu plus O2 will give you 2CuO, that is copper oxide. So the reaction will be 2Cu plus O2 will give you 2 copper oxide. It will give you copper oxide. Okay. If hydrogen gas is passed over this heated material, that is copper oxide, the black coating on the surface turns brown as the reverse reaction takes place, and thus the copper is obtained. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. So if a substance gains oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. I repeat, if a substance gains oxygen During a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. But if a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. I repeat, a substance gaining oxygen during a reaction, it is known as oxidation reaction. And if a substance loses oxygen during a reaction, it is said to be reduction. Okay. See, in the following reaction of 1.29, you can see over here that Cu plus H2O, CuO plus H2O. Okay, so what happens now? In a copper oxide, if we are reacting with dihydrogen, it gives you copper plus H2O. It gives you copper plus H2O. So you can see that in copper the oxygen was present and now it is losing oxygen to copper. And in hydrogen there was no oxygen, but now it is gaining oxygen to form hydrogen to water. So during this reaction, copper oxide is losing oxygen and it is being reduced. The hydrogen is gaining oxygen and it is being oxidized. In other words, one reactant gets oxidized while the other gets reduced during a reaction. I repeat, in other words, when one reactant gets oxidized while other gets reduced during a reaction, such a reaction is also known as oxidation reduction reactions, and the combination of it is known as redox reaction, So a chemical reaction in which there is an oxidation and reduction reaction combined, it is known as redox reaction. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. So CuO gets reduced to Cu and H2 gets oxidized to H2O. CuO gets reduced to Cu and H2 gets oxidized to H2O. Some other examples of the redox reactions are ZnO plus C, that is zinc oxide plus carbon will give you zinc plus carbon monoxide. Zinc oxide plus carbon will give you zinc plus carbon monoxide. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. And another form is MnO2 plus 4HCl, that is manganese oxide plus 4HCl. You can see over here that manganese is losing oxygen and gaining Cl2, whereas the hydrochloric acid is losing chlorine and gaining oxygen. So it is also a type of redox reactions. Okay, see, they have written over here, in a reaction if the carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide and zinc oxide is reduced to zinc, whereas in a reaction 1.32, that was MnO2, in a reaction HCl is oxidized to form chlorine, whereas MnO2 is reduced to form MnCl2. Okay, from the above examples we can say that if a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen during a reaction, it is known as oxidizing reaction, also known as oxidation reaction. If a substance loses oxygen or gains hydrogen during a reaction, it is known as reduction reaction. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. So now we are going to study corrosion in detail. Have you observed the effects of oxidation reduction reactions in everyday life? Yes, of course. As we all know that the ship sailing in the water gets corroded in a very due time. The grills of the windows and the doors of any made up of metal gets corroded. As you have seen, the rusting is formed. The layers are getting peel up off, and it also colors also changes. Fine students, so these are the main general forms of examples. The most corroded element or the metal around the earth is iron, whereas copper, silver, brass, etc. also gets corroded. Let us learn it in details. What is corrosion? Fine. You must have observed that iron articles are very shiny when new, but gets coated with a reddish brown powder when left for some times. Okay, you must have observed that iron particles are shiny when new, but gets coated with a reddish brown powder when left for some time. This process is known as rusting of iron. This process is commonly known as rusting of iron. Okay, I repeat, you must have observed that the iron particles are shiny when new, but gets coated with a reddish brown powder when left for some time. This process is commonly known as rusting of iron. Some other metals also get tarnished in this manner. Have you noticed the color of coating formed on a copper and a silver? No? Let us see that. Whenever a metal is attacked by a substance around it, such as acids, moisture, water, oxygen, etc., it is said to be corroded, and the process is known as corrosion. See, remember students, there is a difference between rusting and corrosion. Okay, what rusting is only formed on rusting is always formed on iron molecules. I repeat, rusting is always formed on iron molecules, wherever the corrosion is formed on every metals. Okay, corrosion is formed on every metals. Fine. The process is commonly known as rusting of iron. When a metal is attacked by a substance around it, such as moisture, acids, etc., it is said to be corrode, and the process is also known as corrosion. Please now tick the points that the black coating is found on a silver, green coating on copper are the examples of corrosion. So we have known that iron is found, turns into the brown or reddish brown color, the silver turns to the black color, and green color is formed on the copper substances. Corrosion causes damage to car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships, and to all the objects made up of metals these days. Okay, corrosion causes damages to car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships, and to all objects made up of metals, especially those of iron. Corrosion of iron is a serious problem. Every year, an enormous amount of money is spent to replace damaged irons. Fine students, I hope you are clear with the corrosion. It is quite important short note for us. Please go through it. The next thing is rancidity. So what is rancidity? As we all know that if in a summer or a hot warm days, if we keep food outside, it gets foul smell. That means it gets decomposed. Okay, that means the bacteria is attacking on them and making it rotten or decomposed. So this is a form of rancidity. Let us check that. Have you ever tasted or smelled the fat or an oil containing food materials left for a longer period of time? When fats and oils are oxidized, they become rancid and their smell and taste changes. Usually, substances which prevent oxidations are added to food containing fats and oils. Fine students, so anything containing fats or an oil gets reacted whenever oxygen is being reacted to it. Whenever the oxygen is being reacted to it, so they become rancid and their smell and taste changes. That can be also injurious to health, causing food poison in us. Fine. Usually substances which prevents oxidation, that is antioxidants, are added to food containing fats and oils, Keeping food in an airtight containers helps to slow down oxidation. Keeping food in an airtight container helps to slow down oxidations. Sometimes for the preservation of good food, we are also adding vinegar to it. Okay, vinegar also acts as an antioxidant. Keeping food in an airtight container helps to slow down oxidation also. So these are the various ways adding of vinegar, keeping food in an airtight containers, etc. helps to slow down oxidation. Do you know that chips manufacturer usually flush bags of chips with gas such as nitrogen to prevent the chips from getting oxidized? Fine. So there are the three main forms: keeping the food in airtight container, adding vinegar such as antioxidants for keeping the food good for a longer period of time, and last, making the things wrapping the things with an aluminum foil, or flushing it with a nitrogen gas, okay. So I hope you are clear with this. There are various questions given over here, you need to solve it by yourself. The, see, they have given us an example of the double displacement reactions, okay. As well as the first question given over here is, why does the color of the copper sulfate solution change? Due to the displacement reaction, iron loses its identity and forms FeSO4. So the copper sulfate solution changes its color, okay. I hope you are clear with this, students. Still one time, though it looks boring to you, we will clear it one more time. What you have learned. A complete chemical equation represents the reactants, products and physical state symbolically. A chemical equation is balanced so that the number of atoms of each type involved in a chemical reaction are the same on the reactant and the product side of the equations, and therefore the equation must be always balanced. In a combination reaction, two or more substances combine to form a single substance. In a decomposition reaction, it is opposite to the combination reaction. A single substance decomposes to give two or more substances. Reaction in which heat is given out along with products are also known as exothermic reactions. Last one is reactions in which energy is absorbed are known as endothermic reactions. Reactions in which energy is absorbed are known as endothermic reactions. When an element displaces another element from its compound, a displacement reaction occurs. Two different atoms or a group of atoms exchange is also known as double displacement reactions. I repeat, two different atoms or a group of atoms are exchanged in double displacement reactions. Precipitation reaction produces insoluble salts. As I told you, that element which is not soluble in water is known as insoluble salts, and reaction is also known as precipitation reactions, okay. Reactions also involve the gain or loss of oxygen or hydrogen by substances. Wait, reactions also involve the gain or loss of oxygen or hydrogen by substances. If oxygen is gained and the loss of oxygen, it is known as oxidation. I repeat, oxidation is the gain of oxygen or the loss of hydrogen, whereas reduction is the loss of oxygen or the gain of hydrogen. I repeat, reduction is the loss of oxygen or the gain of hydrogen. Fine, students, I hope you are clear with this chapter. If you are having any doubts, you please ask me. Thank you.